has got me going wild, and I feel it all again.
Guys, listen, we are in the Sports Talk with Bob Mack studios today, but we're kind of like doing something different. We've kind of switched roles, me and Coach Mack over there, right? We got Tony Mecca in the house, and this is totally impromptu, right? We're having a little get-together here today, and we're with Thomas from Winyah.
Hey, y'all, how's it going?
Thomas from Winyah, my son Liam's boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, Winyah is a band, and I just kind of like met you about 10 minutes ago,
Absolutely.
Right? The name. What's the origin of the name?
Let's get into the name.
Let's get into that. We got to start from there and go down.
You see on my hat here, Winyah, W-I-N-Y-A-H. It's the name spurs from a bay that flows through our hometown in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. There are 5 rivers that flow into Winyah Bay and then out to the Atlantic Ocean in South Carolina.
But it's got to be more than that. Were you guys like fishermen, or like do you guys?
It's
like,
everything.
What'd you do on the bay? Was that like a place where you guys hung out, or everybody would meet down there?
Yeah,
everybody would drive down.
Winyah Bay is everything around us. So when you come down to Pawleys Island or Georgetown, there's really 2 towns that are about 10 minutes apart, and that kind of encapsulates the whole Winyah Bay area. But when you come down to that area, it's Winyah everything. Winyah Shopping Center, Winyah Pharmacy, Winyah Dentistry, Winyah, pretty much anything is kind of labeled with this.
But that's like a loose term, right? That's not the name of a town.
No, it's not the name of the town.
It's just the bay or this
more
junction.
so the bay.
This junction where everything comes together at the water, right?
And it spurs back to an old Native American word, which is an old Indian tribe that I think was a part of the Catawba or the Cherokee tribe in South Carolina, and it was Winyah, and Winyah means people of the black water. Okay. So where we grew up, there's a lot of rivers, and the rivers that flow into Winyah Bay especially are really dark-watered, brackish water rivers and estuaries. And so our name spurs from this old Native American Indian name. And for us, it was everywhere growing up. It was Winyah. So all of our parents, they went to Winyah High School. And Winyah High School isn't a thing anymore, but there's still the Winyah Auditorium where the old high school was, and Winyah everything back at home.
So it would make sense. I mean, Thomas is the rhythm guitarist of the band
guitarist and
Winyah, which is a kind of a jam, alternative, indie kind of band that we all just kind of came to know through Bob Mack's son.
That's right.
Liam, who those guys recently relocated. They relocated down to the Carolinas and made a whole bunch of new friends, and he brought up this crew. And so you guys played the Stephen Talkhouse, which is a revolutionary kind of landmark place out in East Hampton, or just beyond East Hampton, where everybody shows up. You never know who's going to be in there, right? Like Jimmy, what's the, not Jimmy Kimmel, but the other talk show guy.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon's in there all the time. Billy Joel can show up. Howard Stern. I mean, you never know. It's a who's who of whatever.
Who knows who's there?
But you don't get into that venue unless you're good. Okay? So somehow, somewhere, whoever booked you guys in there realized you guys are pretty good. Let's throw them in, Steven. So, but not for the first time this year. You played last year, right? Yeah. So to get invited back means you guys are like probably really good.
Absolutely.
So just share a little bit about how that came about, to like you guys getting that gig, being on there in really A-list land.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like,
absolutely.
This isn't some
absolutely
kind of thing, So go ahead. Take it.
We've been touring all over the country for the past 2 years, really, and we have grown fan bases in parts of the country that we never really would have expected. We're really surprised that people listen to us outside of our hometown. Honestly,
on that. So how does this kind of far-reaching group of people that are into your music, do you Are you on radio station? Like, how do you reach them?
It's a lot of social media for us. A lot of social media. We've grown a big following on Instagram and TikTok in the last 2 years. And then there's a little bit of radio stuff that's happening now, but mainly just social media and Spotify and Apple Music, just organic growth.
And then just people people sharing.
Yeah.
You got to check this band out, sharing.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm guessing that's the wave of like the internet and like social media now, right? Once that starts to roll, it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and
you got to keep the ball
And
rolling.
that's how like the record companies, the record business has kind of happened now, right? It's no longer like make a demo tape, send it into a record executive. They listen to it. You have potential, put you in the studio.
Yeah.
They want bands that have a strong following on the internet, that you guys have already done. They had your boots on the ground and done the groundwork.
Exactly. Like the major label ecosystem these days is completely different than how it was, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, where it was more focused on, or traditionally it was more focused on developing artists.
Yeah, demo tape and stuff. So
now
these
that's
days,
up to us.
Right, these development
which is
guys,
cool, and we love that. We love that. It's good for us. We have gotten to develop our own artistry in a way that is very authentic to us, and also to our touring. So really, like, the music is one thing and people are connecting with it, but what we really pride ourselves on is the live show. And so when we go and play a show like last night's even Talkhouse, that's where we really get to sink our teeth into the people that are coming to these shows and like give them all that we have. And like, when they listen to our music on Spotify through their phone from 1,000 miles away, that's one thing and it's awesome. But when we get to come and see these people where they are in their place, that's where we really get to like make this real connection. That is so important to us, and really the core of our band is going and playing in these places for the people that support us in their places.
You guys are a live band.
Yes,
I mean, that's
absolutely.
like where you guys shine, right?
Absolutely. We shine on a live show.
You have your studio recordings and stuff, but live is where you guys excel.
Live is where we excel.
So
that's where we feel most at home.
But back on to, I'm a former musician. This is what I did for a long time, and I remember the days of having to make a demo tape, send it in, getting some attention. That way, showcasing, trying to play in New York City in the clubs back in the day. I won't tell you how far back, but CBGBs and stuff like that. Like, I mean,
CBGBs, that's the old Stevens
Ramones and Zombie and all that stuff. I go far that almost that far back, almost. But these days, it's like, so you guys are in a band, but you have to be social media savvy.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it's not just mastering your instrument. You got to master how to get yourselves out there. Like I said, because record companies aren't like signing you off a demo tape and then putting $1 million into marketing. You got to do that self-marketing, then get noticed. So share a little bit within your band. Who does that? Do you guys keep it self-contained? Do you have people that do it for you? Go ahead, share a little bit.
The whole digital ecosystem for us is very simple. Honestly, I run all of our social media pages, and so I have control of what we're posting and what we're not. But our content strategy is very simple. It's really just focused on how can we tell the most true story of who we are to the people that are listening to our music. How can we make people feel like they have been in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, growing up with us? And
so someone may have never even had contact with you as a band, but you bring that experience to, maybe they could be across the country or like across the world, really. They could be anywhere in the world enjoying your stuff,
We're very, very much so like, there's so much content and so much stuff going on with artists all over the world, and sometimes it can be very gimmicky and like very advertorial, if you will.
Sure.
But with us, we kind of take an opposite stance from that. Like, we're not really trying to go viral or anything. We want to
let me
really
stop
build a connection.
Let me stop you there. So, you guys are is a jam band that's not like, you think of jam band, you think of the Grateful Dead, right? And Fish and stuff like that. Because I did a little, while we were setting up for this, I did a little poking around the internet, and they described you as kind of a jam band.
Yeah.
But would you say, are you a song band, a jam? I mean, you set out to try and write a hit song that's going to like push over the top. What's your process with that?
I would say for us, like I think we get leaned into the jam band just by the average listener that, sees a concert that is fluid and thinks that's a jam band thing. I wouldn't describe us as a jam band personally, but, in terms of how we write our songs, we do think of the concert experience at the forefront of when we're writing. But our writing process is so simple. It's really just, and it's something that we're about to release our second album in September of this year. And the first album was an amalgamation of all of us pulling different songs that we had written growing up and putting that together for an album. And now the second album is us really writing together for the first time. And the process for that was so simple. We would sit around on our bass player Steve-O's house in Pauly, his back porch, and we would grab a case of beer, and we have a whiteboard.
Great way to work.
And a couple acoustic guitars, and we either finish the case of beer or we finish the song.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a couple cases of beer.
That's great.
And sometimes we finish a couple songs before the case of beer. It just kind of like works that way.
Right.
And if we get stuck, we stop.
Sometimes it takes a village. Sometimes it takes a case of beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Just
Absolutely.
is what it is.
It's really simple. Like there's no need to over, compensate. Like,
Right.
We obviously want to have songs that are popular and have a wide reach, but like we're not.
But you're not setting out to write.
We're not sitting down to write a hit song. We're gonna sit down and write what feels good to us.
Yeah, and it's organic that way.
Absolutely.
So like you're talking about, I know you guys are a live kind of thing, but you said you're releasing a record and stuff. Now, before you pulled up on the screen the Saugerties thing. That's a magical area for me because I was in bands and I recorded up in Woodstock and Saugerties. Is it Area 52?
Yes, absolutely.
You guys recorded in an area totally unrehearsed. But great studio, right?
Absolutely. It's magical.
That land up there is magical. You're in the mountains, the Catskills. There's waterfalls around. You can go hiking. And did you live up there while you were recording?
So
share the experience.
Our manager, Kyle, he lives up in Saugerties, right at the foot of the Catskill Mountains. And when we're off tour and we're in between tour dates in the Northeast, we always find ourselves resonating to that area. So we go and we stay at his house. And,
I love that, by the way.
And we write
that's
music.
My magical
and
music.
we hang out. It's and it's such a special place. There's so many incredible artists.
And the bands that recorded there over the years, right? The bands that recorded there were crazy. Going back to like our period, Simple Minds, Levon Helm, obviously the whole lineage to Woodstock and all that, which was like further north from there, but that area. But back when I was in bands in the 80s and stuff, like there was Bearsville Studios, Saugerties and stuff. This is where some of the biggest, it was only an hour north of Manhattan. Yeah. But also it was famous for because there was in New York City, there was a studio called the Power Station. Yep. And what they did is they made the exact same sort of equipment and everything there. Bob Clearmountain was the main engineer, and an hour north up there in the Woodstock Saugerties area, they made an identical studio from the Power Station in New York. So bands were either in the urban setting of like New York City recording, or if they wanted to just zip up and out, it was the same studio. So it was like a carbon copy. So like,
and get out in the country a little bit.
Get out in the country, have some good food. You'd be on the little streams there and stuff.
Absolutely.
So when were you guys in Area 52 and like what did you work on when you were there?
Yeah, so we went up there in December of 2024. It was during our first tour really as a band. So we started touring in August of 2024, and it was a couple months after we had played Bonnaroo for the first time. And when we played Bonnaroo, when we got the call to play Bonnaroo, it was a month and a half out. We only had 4 songs out, and we had to write pretty much our whole first album for the Bonnaroo set.
So you said you were together 3 years in
Yeah,
3
3
months?
years and 3
3 years and
months,
3
about
months.
now.
So going back 24, fairly new to the band,
pretty
right?
much like the first few months of what was going on. Everything pre-Bonnaroo was like college parties and just making a couple extra bucks on the side.
But let's go back there for a second, right? So you guys are musicians. You get together. You got this wacky. Were you Winyah at that time?
Yeah,
You were,
Winyah.
right? So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is where we're from. And all the guys, it'd be cool, right? Let's write songs.
Absolutely.
Winyah. Let's call ourselves Winyah. You know what I mean? Then not only the dental place and the yoga studio, they have a band,
Yeah.
Winyah, right?
Exactly.
So when did you guys get serious and realize this was something happening?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit of how the band you guys got serious about it.
Absolutely.
Or was it serious right from the beginning where you said, you had a buddy and said, let's start a band?
I think that when I started the band, I called Butters, our guitarist, and
Which, by the way, in a few minutes we'll have to discuss his name.
Absolutely.
But anyway, go ahead.
So I called our guitarist Luke, and he was coming off of the World Surf League qualifying series.
And Butters is the bassist?
He's the lead guitarist.
Oh, he's the lead guitarist. Okay, yeah.
And I started this band, and I was like, yo, I want to start a band. I need a band to play with me because I was doing a solo thing. And he was like, I want to play music. Like, I'm done with surfing. We're gonna do this now. And so me and him always had this ambition from the start that we could start something and be big and be huge. That's the way that Luke and I think. And that's the way that we still think today. It's like, what is next? How can we take it to the next level?
I'm a big supporter and proponent of thinking big.
Absolutely.
Like,
we manifest
go as
everything
high
in
as you
this
can.
band.
You can always pull it back a little, but why not? Right?
Absolutely. So Butters and I started this band, and we had this ambition, and it was very casual for the first year, really. And then I moved to Nashville. Butters moved to Nashville with me, and we were at a party at one of our friends' houses who is another artist. And I met this girl named Jenna Love who works in the festival atmosphere.
Now, was the Nashville bound thing, was that a music?
That was
doing
that for
a music thing?
Yeah.
Obviously,
so
a
I
major
moved to
music
Nashville
city.
after college to go. I thought I was going to be a country music singer-songwriter. And now I'm the lead singer of an indie rock band, which is way better and so much more fun. And I think that me going to Nashville and kind of figuring out where I need to be.
But Nashville's not just country. You got Jack White. You got
you have a lot of
alternative rock and roll and alternative kind of underpinnings in there as well. It's not just a country venue anymore.
Absolutely. We were dead set from the start when we went to Nashville on being something different and being something real. And I think that's the core of our band. But all these opportunities really came from one moment. So, like, I was at a party. I met this girl named Jenna Love.
Right.
We were drunk, having a great time, shooting the shit out of nowhere. She was telling me about how she works on Lollapalooza and Bonnaroo, these major music festivals. Right. And I was like, you should throw my band on Bonnaroo.
Right into the fire.
We don't have any songs out, but we're fucking badass. I promise you that. We're badass, and we will rip it. And she was like, yeah, we're fucking right, buddy, whatever. And then a few months later, she calls me, and I'm walking from my apartment in downtown Nashville to the WME, which is one of the biggest music booking agencies in the world.
Yeah, by the way, they're my agents.
I was walking into the WME office.
William Morris Endeavor.
For the first time, shitting my pants. Just completely so scared out of my mind. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, right.
I had been playing writers' rounds and all these bars for absolutely no one for a couple months, and it was just like a huge change of pace. So I was walking to this place, and I was walking over the bridge of I-24 in Nashville, going to downtown to the WME office, and I get a call from my buddy Jenna Love a few months after this party, and she goes, yo, do you want to go to Bonnaroo? And I was like, absolutely. Like, did you get me tickets for a discount?
Oh, right.
I'm ready to go. Like, let's go have a great time at the festival. And she was like, no.
You didn't even know what she was saying at the time, right? It's like, oh, no, you're not a spectator.
Yeah.
You're in it.
Exactly. She was like, no, a band dropped out, and I confirmed your band. She confirmed our band before we even said yes, she was like, y'all are playing Bonnaroo.
Wow.
And so I called the guys literally 5 minutes later, and they were all like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're full of shit. Like, they didn't believe it. And then the next day, me and Butters drove down from Nashville, and we stayed in Rob, our keyboard player's house at the University of South Carolina for the next month and a half. Every day, and
because you have to get a set together now.
Yeah, so we weren't going to go to Bonnaroo.
4 songs up until that point?
We had 4 songs up to that point, and we weren't going to go to Bonnaroo and play a bunch of covers, because that would be bullshit. That's not what we're about. We're not a cover band. We're focused on original music. And
so from when this moment happened to Bonnaroo, how long of a period of time did you have to get this set together, right?
Exactly. So we had a month and a half. The next day after I got that call, Luke and I, we drove down to South Carolina, and we stayed in Rob's house on the frat house couches for a month and a half.
Perfect.
And we would practice pretty much from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Every night in one of our buddies' warehouses in Columbia, South Carolina. And we wrote our first album there. We had the 4 songs before, but we wrote the rest of it there for the Bonnaroo set. And that was like when we really had the first moment of like, okay, we have a deadline, we have to do this, we can be a real band.
Yeah. Tom, was that a moment of clarity?
It was.
Like, I got to wake up and actually, now I got to take it serious.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was.
Well, it's like setting yourself a deadline where, because let's face it, artists, self-included, procrastinate forever. I'm working on a script
we hang
now.
out.
It's
we hang out and we just let it come.
Groove, you're having a beer, now it's like an event.
Exactly.
And we got to be good.
Yeah, and it's like you don't get a second chance at that.
Exactly.
Right? You get one shot to be good. Or else it's like, Winyah, I don't know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to make that
totally.
Maxed
Tom,
out.
Was everybody all in, or was it you and your guitar player? What do you call him?
Butters.
Butters, yeah. Was it you and Butters, or did you like everybody was like, now we're all in?
We were all in. I mean, from the point that we got the Bonnaroo call, it was like I told the guys, I was like, yo, we have a window. We can be a real band now if we do this and we do it right and we do it really, really well. And so we all locked in. It was really like there was no pushback. We all just like, from that moment that we got this opportunity, we were dead set on making it happen and making it happen to the best of our abilities.
All right, so you're in there, and who else is in this venue on this
same event?
You know what I mean?
Oh,
in that event, right? So you're basically a new band putting this stuff together in a place where I'm sure some of the best bands in the world. So share who else is on that stage with you guys.
I'm thinking the year that we played. So we played the first slot at Bonnaroo. The first music that was played at Bonnaroo 2024 was Winyah. And that was us on the first slot of the Who stage.
Oh, awesome.
Which was great for us.
Basically.
We kicked it off. We had a great crowd, way more than we were expecting. When we started, there was maybe 50 people there. But when we ended, there was probably 1,000, which for us at the time was ridiculous.
So take me back to that moment. Go back to that moment when you guys are opening up that festival. You're up there. Like, what? Give me the first 30 seconds.
Oh my
What's
God.
going on
Tom,
inside your head?
Are you shitting your pants?
I was shitting my pants. I was so scared.
Yeah. So
we were all just
take
so
2 seconds
scared
to recall that moment. What it felt like.
Absolutely. So I remember vividly. So since we were the first show of this stage at Bonnaroo, we actually got to have a proper sound check, which was really great. And so we really connected with the audio team there, which made us feel comfortable.
Right.
But still, we're like on cloud 9 because we're at Bonnaroo.
Now, but had you guys played live prior to that?
We had played live. We played a bunch of like bars and like nothing really.
Certainly not even on that level. Right,
Yeah.
right. So this is basically a first time thing for you guys.
Absolutely. And so I remember like the 2 minutes before we went on stage, they had a trailer behind the stage, which was our green room. and we were all in the green room, and we huddled up like we still do before every show, and we said a prayer.
Love it.
And we all took deep breaths, and we locked in together, and we said, and I looked
there might have been a few prayers involved, right?
A bunch of prayers. We were really, really scared. I remember walking from the green room to the stage, and I could not feel my legs. I was so nervous.
Wow, man.
I was so nervous, and I've only had that happen a couple times since then.
But you guys killed it, right?
Yeah, we went up there and we floated. We were right where we needed to be. All of the work that we put in was meant to be. It was like, sure, we were on the stage at Bonnaroo, but it felt like we were right there in that warehouse that we had practiced in. And so it really, really worked out well.
So that was like the kickoff to Winyah.
Yeah, that was the kickoff.
Fast forward to, you're out in the Hamptons right now. You just played Stevens' Talkhouse.
Yeah.
Pretty happening kind of thing.
Absolutely.
What's next for you guys? We know you recorded upstate.
Yeah.
Right? 3 years in is not that big of it. So it sounds like you guys are really.
Absolutely.
So what's the next? Sum it up now. Just bring us to current day and tell us what your next gig is and where you guys are going next.
So after Bonnaroo, we met our booking agent, Caleb Coker and Luke Washburn, and they, from the get-go, were like, we're going to send y'all on the road. Y'all are going to be a touring band, which is what we always wanted. And we have been doing that since. We've been supporting bands, and now in the past year and a half, building our headline market. So from now, today, July, what is it? The 12th?
We're at 13th.
July 13th, 2026. We're about to release our second album in September of this year, and we're going to go and play the biggest headline shows we've ever done. We're going to go and do our first bus tour, which is really just a dream come true for us.
Right.
And the goal now is to make this next album become something that is not only domestic, national in the United States, but also global. We want to have a global imprint. And so we're expanding out not only within the United States, but in Europe and Australia as well, and going and touring in these places.
So if someone wants to follow you guys on a regular basis and listen to the music, find out where you're playing, just get involved in the whole thing, how you have a website?
Yeah, Winyah Band. That's WINYAHBAND.com.
Why not?
If you can spell band.
If you can spell that, that's our website. And we're also on Instagram, and it's Winyah Band too. And that's kind of where you find all of the updates from us. We have a slew of updates coming pretty much every week. There's always something to announce with our band. We keep the ball rolling. We keep our foot on the gas in this band, and that's something that we always pride ourselves on.
Well, you guys had to rev it up pretty quick for that first show, and I guess you've had the throttle down ever since, right? Not to be corny, but
we are blessed today to have Tommy from Winyah, the lead singer, the guy who put it all together for Winyah, and Tony Guma, who's been all over Hollywood, putting this whole thing together for us. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank the two of you for just sitting down.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing your little space here.
Giving us the time.
This is so special.
I got to tell you, truly amazing, because I know from what I've seen so far, what's going to happen with Winyah. We're gonna have a moment here today and say, those guys, they were in our studio.
They were here
in 2026.
Right.
Really?
And you guys are going, how the fuck did those guys are playing the biggest stadiums in the world?
Right.
And you say, we're blessed.
Absolutely.
We're blessed.
God is good all
blessed
the
to have
time.
Tony Guma. Blessed to have Tommy. Thank you so much.
Best of luck.
God bless you guys.
Give it a few more years. We'll come back to the studio.
Hold on. When you get big, you're going to come back, right?
Absolutely. Couple more years. We'll sell out Forest Hills. And we'll come back, sell out Jones Beach, and then we'll be back in the studio.
Tell me quickly about the relationship with Liam and all the boys in Charleston. How did that moment happen?
So we're all from around Charleston, a little town about an hour north of Pawleys Island, South Carolina, but we resonate towards Charleston. It's where we record our music and where we hang out. Like for us in South Carolina, that's like the big city. So We met Liam and Bobby and Aaron and Jake and Sean all out in Folly when they were living out there, and we made an instant connection. They were, doing their thing with social media, and we were grinding on music. And we met actually Jake and Gelke, and he introduced us to everybody. And it was a fast friendship. It was a bunch of guys, we're all in our 20s and we're trying to figure it out and doing something somewhat similar. We're trying to market ourselves, but also connect with people just through our passions and through what we love.
Don't you wish we had this shit when we were younger? Right?
And we share a lot of it, cool. Like we all share a lot of the same passions. Liam and Butters and I were out there today off of Quag Beach surfing and having the best time ever. And we met these guys, and it was an instant friendship. It's not often that you meet people that feel like they've been your friends forever. But when we met these guys, it was like that. It was like we met our long-lost brothers. And
kindred. It's a kindred spirit.
Absolutely.
And that's me and this guy.
Yeah.
That's me and that guy. Like, it's been that way our whole lives. We met through wrestling. We met through football and wrestling. Yeah. And we found the common music and entertainment was like a common thread that we didn't even know about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, before we leave, because Liam's like, get him the fuck upstairs. We're partying with girls. So I don't want to take you from that. Give me 3 more minutes.
Yeah, come on.
Grab the acoustic, brother.
Yeah, let's do it.
Show me a little bit of what you guys are all about.
All right, hell yeah.
And I know that I don't know what you're gonna jam on, but Liam like he plays you guys in the truck all the time. So I asked you before about how you guys created Mamacita, and I was like, it's just a jam that I played for one other person, and they were like, holy shit, like these kids are good. They're really good. So give me a little love, brother, whatever you want to
take it away, babe.
So I'm going to play, this is the title track for our first album. It's called Lot to Learn. This is the much more chill acoustic version of that, but I'll play it, and hopefully my voice is all right.
That's all right.
It's probably a little banged up from a crazy night at the Talkhouse last night, but we'll make it happen. This is Lot to Learn. She wants to move to the city, a bigger one than ours, with famous bands at bars, and maybe out to the country, getting by on homegrown eggs, natural heat and off the grid. But she's trying to be better about taking for granted how her friends know how to make her laugh, and finding pictures of her dad. She'll keep dreaming about the one. He's a planet, not a sun. 'Cause whether he's around or not, she's got a lot to learn to love a lot. I'm at the top of the mountain. I love this point of view in the shades of blue. Hear the drip of the fountain. I'm running out of youth. Oh, so much to do. But I'm trying to be better about taking advantage of how tonight's the youngest that I'll be, and my best days are in front of me. If I stop living in the past, fearing what will come to pass, the joy is always there to grab if you just let the moment last. But there's no place I'd rather be than here right now. Yeah, there's no place I'd rather be than here with you right now. Whoa, whoa.
I couldn't agree anymore.
Then with you right now on Sports Talk with Bob Mackey, yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, brother, I couldn't agree anymore.
Thomas of Winyah, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
No
us.
place I'd rather be than with you and Tony Guma right now.
That's
Tony
right.
Mecca in the studio. Killed it, brother. Thank you
so much. Thanks for having us.
Check him out on the internet.
God bless you, man.
Winyah Summer.
Kill it. Let's go. Winyah, baby. Winyah. We're all about him. Good job, brother.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Next player anytime.